So I would like to read a little bit of Mehera's life. Mehera Irani was born January 7th, 1907, passed on May 20th to her beloved 1989. And she was Mehera Baba's closest mandali or disciple. Mehera Baba said she was the purest soul in the universe and that she loved him as he ought to be loved. He called her his Radha and said, "She is my very breath, she is my very breath, without which I cannot live." Her accounts of her life with Mehera Baba are exhaustingly and carefully documented in the 3-volume chronicles Mehera, A Divine Romance, written by David Fenster, based on tape recordings of Mehera he made. Mehera met Mehera Baba for the first time on October 15th, 1922, at the age of 15 in the ashram of Upasni Maharaj during a visit with her mother, but did not come to stay with Baba permanently at Meherabad until 1924. Unique among Mehera Baba's women mandali, Mehera was sequestered by Baba from contact with men. It was not until the late 1960s that Mehera was permitted by Mehera Baba to come out of her seclusion and meet some of the men mandali from a distance. On the porch at Meherazad, she simply folded her hands to them out of respect to their love for Baba and saluted them with Jai Baba. Mehera was one of the 4 women who accompanied Baba in his new life period from 1949 to 1951. In 1952, Mehera suffered a severe head injury in an auto accident with Mehera Baba near Prague, Oklahoma. In accordance with Baba's directive, Mehera's final resting place is by his side, adjacent to the Samadhi. Although Mehera was born in January from 1968, her birthday has been celebrated on December 22nd, as it was in 1968, in accordance with the Zoroastrian calendar, that being the last year it was celebrated in Mehera Baba's physical presence. Jai Baba and welcome everyone. I have a kind of a little snippet, a kind of an iMovie of our beloved Mehera and Baba, and so if it's okay, I'll go ahead and share that with you now. Jai Baba.
Good evening, everyone. It's always wonderful to have the opportunity to come together and sing for Baba. I thought I'd begin with a song, the words of which were written by Mani, Baba's sister. Mani wrote these words in 1989 for Mehera's birthday, and they express her feelings around the event of Mehera's passing to Baba.
Oh, to the glory of love, sing, oh, sing to the glory of love. Let all hearts sing of love. Oh, to the glory of love, sing, oh, sing to the glory of love. Let all hearts sing of love. Sing of love to the glory of love. To reflect, dear Mehera, your supreme joy. we learn from the flowers and the trees, and from the birds in your Meherazad garden, who sing with every breeze. Wildflowers we saw like carpets unfold when your reunion gift poured down. Rain streams danced around Seclusion Hill with nature in emerald gown. To the glory of love, sing, oh sing to the glory of love. Let all hearts sing of love, sing of love, to the glory of love. Because love sublime was made complete when he welcomed you to his world. Now we hear the thunder of his name all around, and the power of God is unfurled. Now we are out in the open, in the strong unshaded sun. The wings of good fortune protect us, for the love of our beloved one. To the glory of love, sing, oh sing to the glory of love. Let all hearts sing of love, sing of love, to the glory of love. Today we celebrate your ecstasy, born from separation's pain. Beloved and beloved now are one, and it's earth's immeasurable gain. Bless us, sweet Mehera, that we may be with him every step of our remaining way. In all that we do and say and think, may we remember him night and day. To the glory of love, sing, oh sing to the glory of love. Let all hearts sing of love. To the glory of love, let all hearts sing. Happy birthday, Mehera, Queen of Meher King, Queen of Meher King. gentle breeze of his mercy, song of his silence pure, beat of his universal heart. Help us to love him more, help us to love him more, nevermore. To the glory of love, sing, oh sing to the glory of love. Let all hearts sing of love. Oh, to the glory of love, oh sing to the glory of love. Let all hearts sing of love. Oh, to the glory of love, oh sing to the glory of love. Let all hearts sing of love. Sing of love, glory of love. Sing of love.
Mehera, in what manner do you love him, that your hold on to him is so strong? We who have just come to know him, it is for this love that we long. For of all of his lovers in creation, it seems that he's closest to you. So Mehera, won't you tell us how you love him, so that we might love him that way too? Well, he came as if an angel sent from heaven, but we found it rather odd to learn that this angel sent from heaven himself had turned out to be God. And a simple heart breaks when one thinks of mistakes made in a moment so weak. And so faced with this task, we now come to ask help towards this goal that we seek. So tell us, Mehera, in what manner do you love him, and what makes your love so pure? That there is no hardship or suffering for him that you would not endure. We who have never been with him still long for a love so true. So Mehera, won't you tell us how you love him, so that we might love him that way too? There's a mist on the field in the morning, but the sun comes to burn it all off. Just as the mist of our clouded imaginations is removed by the warmth of his love. And we see all around his love shining down direct from the heavens above. And we grow close, but yet as close as we get, we never can get close enough. So tell us, Mehera, in what manner do you love him? Though really, it's not hard to tell, for we see it when you look at his picture. Your eyes seem to show us so well. And though it might be rude of us asking,
No.
really what else could we do? For Mehera, if we knew how you love him, then we might love him that way too.
It says, so this is a sharing meeting. And as you know, first of all, I want to say that the slideshow was by David Fenster. What a love gift that was. I just added music and you guys know who the music are.
Okay. So my first trip to India was in August of 1973 with my wife at the time. And so my fondest memory of Mehera was she gave the two of us, just the two of us, a tour of the house. Lasted, I don't know, it was timeless. It lasted forever, but I think it was around 45 minutes. And what can you say about that? It's just the two of us and Mehera, and she's going very slowly and lovingly, sharing stories about the photos and Baba's hair and the bedroom. And what I remember about that was like the first 10 minutes, I found it really painful and difficult to be in her presence. Like all my sinner dark side was coming up. And I just wanted to run away from her. It's like painful. It's like I did not feel worthy to be in her presence. It was like really intense for like the first 10 minutes. And then something shifted just on its own that left. And like maybe I was feeling Baba in me more. And then that feeling of unworthiness just left. And I just was basking in her love for Baba for the rest of the time. And so when I look back on that, it just seems like maybe there was some kind of a cleansing process going on. You know, it's like just being near her light so much. So yeah, that's my story. And it's just a very powerful and beautiful memory of being with her and incredible gratitude for having had the experience.
Meeting Mehera was, for the first time, was a highlight of my life for sure. Can you hear me all right?
Perfect.
And I remember, I'm not sure if it was the day I met her, but it was one of the first days I met her. And I met her in 1972. I came from Amartithi with a group, and I didn't know the members of the group. But I remember sitting at the tea table with her, and whether it was at that time, a little after Amartithi perhaps, she told a story that was, I remember to write it down. And it was a story about a very simple, uneducated Baba lover who was challenged to a debate by a very sophisticated philosopher. And I remember her making the point that this man didn't feel up to the challenge in the sense that he knew his intellect was far inferior to this man who challenged him. But she said, but being a Baba lover, he had to meet the challenge. And the debate was this man had to convince the Hindu, I think, philosopher that Meher Baba was God in human form, and the other man didn't believe it. And they had a very long debate, and the Baba lover felt very disheartened after the debate because he knew he'd lost. He knew the other man had him for all his complicated philosophies, and he knew he'd lost and disappointed Baba. And he went and prayed to Baba that night and said, oh, and they had made this the deal that if he won the debate, he would hang Baba's picture in the non-Baba lover's house, and the philosopher would bow down to Baba and accept him. But if he didn't, he would lose that chance. So he went to Baba's picture and prayed that night and said, Baba, you have to help me because I know I haven't done a good job. And the next day, the philosopher man came to him and said, I know who Meher Baba is. This is what happened to me last night. Wow. First, God appeared to me as Ram. And then he appeared to me as Krishna. And then he appeared to me as Muhammad. And he appeared to me as Jesus. And then he appeared to me as Meher Baba. And he said, now I am Meher Baba. And I am God in human form. And he said, I accept your Meher Baba and I will devote my life to him. So this was the first story I ever heard Mehera tell. And it really underscored how, even if we feel inadequate to accept the challenge as Baba lovers, we've got to step up and do it. So I don't know if I always followed that, but it helped me a few times when I felt frightened. And the other thing I felt from Mehera was to always be prepared. I used to sing in those days, and Mehera would always say, always have one song ready. Always have one song ready. And then one time she said, and now Dana will sing a Hindi song. And I said, Mehera, I don't know Hindi songs. She said, what? You've never learned a Hindi song? You would know I would like to hear a Hindi song. You should have learned it from Kathy or from Lindsay. So I did, but the next time I came back, when I sang it, she was not there. Anyway, there's so many. I'll tell one little very simple story about Mehera. One day I was walking out of Baba's room and some bees were hovering around outside the room and I was swatting them away and very annoyed by the bees. And just then Mehera came down the porch, came down the steps and said, oh, aren't bees wonderful? They do so much work. They do so much work and they make honey for us and they're so wonderful. And I thought, this is Mehera. This is Mehera. And the beauty in everything in creation. Anyway, that's for now what I'll share. Thank you.
Dana, that's beautiful. Thank you. Sorry, it took me a minute. And I'll just go ahead and ask Wendy to share if she'd like to.
Oh, thank you, Ruthie. I would love to. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Oh, good, because I'm having trouble hearing because both my hearing aids are broken. How much time do you have? There's a whole world of hearing aid information, you know. But I won't make you listen to all that. I just have to say, Ruthie, I love your hair. You look so pretty. Excuse me, everyone. I wish I could talk to everyone. That's what's so incredible about these Zoom meetings. Dana, I'm so happy to see you. I can't see anybody else. And Margie, Cassandra Bramushi, I can see you. And myself, of course, which is very important. And Dana. Okay, all right. I will start. I told Ruthie earlier, I have 4, like all of you, I have many stories. I'm sure all of you who knew Mehera and spent time with her. I'm very blessed and privileged to have spent a great deal of time with her. Much of it was, well, not much of it, but some of it was quite intimate. It was just the two of us. And I want to share a couple of those stories, excuse me, a couple of passages from my diary that I entered in on the 1974 trip. And I also would like to share, someone wanted to come, asked me quite vehemently, I must be there. And that's my bunny, because he came for Kitty and he said, now listen, you can't not have me for Mehera, because Mehera loved Bunny so much, and I have some delightful things to show you with Bunny. So there's too much. So I am not going to hog the screen, which I would love to do, but I'm not going to. And I will start with 2 stories and then, I think 2, yes. And then I'll take a break and let you all go because I know there are many people, I'm sure, who would like to share. So the first thing I'd love to tell you about, because, and this, again, this is such a treat because it makes me want to cry because I rarely tell some of these stories. I don't have that many opportunities. So it's a real gift. And I want to share the first one. I met Mehera when I was 11 years old at the East-West Gathering. And the first time, I think most of you know, Baba arranged for all the women to meet his women, his precious Mehera, his beloved, his precious sister, everyone, Rano, go here. And when I arrived, we all arrived, but when I arrived at Guru Prasad veranda, Mehera and Mani were waiting for me and they whisked me away into the back, into their bedroom. Well, I had no idea what was happening, of course. So Mehera wanted to put a sari on me. Now, before you think I was something special, which they made me feel quite special, as Baba and the women always did for all of us, it's because she did it because Baba always had her do that for children and young people. I didn't know that at the time, doesn't matter. But I tell you, I will never forget it as long as I live because, Mehera immediately showed me the sari she'd picked out, which was a beautiful yellow voile with a beautiful bright blue blouse, you know, the kind they wear underneath the sari. And she began to show me how to wrap it. And you know, to this day, I have never forgotten how to wrap a sari because of that. And you know how it is when you're young, you tend to remember things better. Well, some things anyway. and then she put makeup on me. And Mani's there watching all of this, beaming away. And the makeup was the best. I mean, the sari was nice, but the makeup was truly the best because I had never worn makeup. So Mehera put a red dot on my forehead, and then mascara, which was incredible because it was rather startling because it was the way they do it there. I don't know if they still do. This is 1962, but there's a long rod, thin rod, and with menthol on it, some kind of menthol, or I don't know what it was, and a little black. So they pulled my eyelid down, the bottom one, and put it right in my eye. I was like, oh, I couldn't believe it. And then, but my God, when they took it away, my eyelashes were so beautiful. I looked beautiful, I have to say. By the way, can you see me all right? Because the light looks dark on I look quite dark on my.
No.
You're okay. Oh, good. Okay, thank you.
Good.
I'm glad. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Oh my. Well, let me just say this. I wanted to wear the sari they gave me when I left the East-West Gathering, or that day actually. However, I couldn't find it. Oh, I didn't have time to look for it. And so it's a good thing I didn't because it's a child sari and it's hysterical. Although you can't see the bottom half of anyone, it's very, very short. Anyway, it's so funny to me. Anyway, my mother wore it one time and she didn't realize it was a child sari and it came up on her calf, but that's all right. That's just a little aside. Okay, so I saw the makeup and I promised, I really feel that that's when I began to love makeup. I had always wanted to wear makeup because my mother was in theater, most of you may know, and all she did, it seemed, at home was put on makeup. And I loved it. Okay, enough about the makeup. Then the sweetest thing, and this shocked me, is they pushed me in front of, to go out finally to see Baba. When I came into the room, Baba stopped everything. Now, this is also what he did with children. Baba always made us feel, he gave us his complete attention. He stopped everything. Oh, Baba. And he turned to the crowd, and it's just the women, which I imagine was around maybe 75, 100 of us. I've never known, but a smallish group, sitting in a semicircle in front of Baba on the floor, except for Elizabeth, of course, and Kitty. They had chairs for them. And Ruth White, who was 94, who was determined to go, she was in a wheelchair. Okay, you got the picture. So Baba, oh, Baba. And he says to the crowd, oh, isn't Wendy beautiful? And of course, how could they say no to Baba? So everyone said yes. You're supposed to laugh at that. I thought that was funny. Anyway, doesn't matter. The point is, Baba was very happy. And he gestured for me to sit down on the edge of the circle, the semicircle, on the end, closest to him. So I was so happy. I have to say, when I first went out, I was quite self-conscious and nervous. But as soon as I saw Baba, I was absolutely happy and fine. So I sat down. Baba goes on, and Baba's doing this. Can you see me besides my name is on the screen? Can you see above that? Okay. Baba goes, how's your health? You know, Baba's gesture for how, when, what? The same gesture. How's your health? And Jean Shaw had just had there I am. I can see myself. Jean Shaw had just had a heart attack, maybe 4 months before. So Baba was very anxious to hear, how are you, Jean? Are you all better? And Jean said, yes, Baba, I'm fine. I don't remember the sign for work. I'll have to ask Devana, but he asked about people's work. One of the most wonderful questions that I do remember quite well is Baba turned to Bunty Kelly, who had Margaret, who is Margaret Bernstein, her child. She had just had Margaret 3 months before and had left her. And Baba said, Bunty, are you worried? It's Baba's real sign for worry. In public, it was, don't worry, be happy. But in private, with his close ones and whomever was there, I guess, Baba would say, and I love it because it's like, what's driving you crazy? Something like that. I love it. So Baba said, are you worrying about the baby? This is baby. And Bunty, he caught her, of course. She went, yes, Baba. And Baba said, Bunty, if you worry about her, then I won't. Okay, yes, so if you worry about the baby, I won't. You stop worrying about her and then I will. So she relaxed and was left all thought because she felt very strongly she should go. Okay. All right, the reason I said all that is to give you a sense of all of a sudden, Baba stops and looks at me. Now my mother is all the way on the other end of the circle. And he looks at me and he goes, Wendy, who do you love more, Mummy or Baba? And if you can believe it, I went, Ma, one time, Ma, oh, no, you Baba. And Baba went like this. But what I realized when I thought about it, not then, of course, I was just happy Baba was paying attention to me. I didn't think about anything, you know, I wasn't old enough to understand anything, of course. So I wanted you to know that I realized years later, he caught me, well, no, I knew then, he caught me when I was looking at my mother, wondering what she thought of my sorry. I wanted to know. And Baba knew that, of course. But when I grew up and got older, I realized that I feel Baba was saying, always put me first. Not your mother, not a relationship, not a friend, nothing. No one comes before me. it was just a glimpse of that. And I feel my first lesson in that, of course, it didn't stick. We're talking many, 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 many years before that stuck. Anyway, all right. So now wait a minute. So yes, so then it goes on. I'm almost done with this part, this story. It goes on, and Baba goes on asking, "Well, how's your health? Have you eaten? Oh, you didn't wear your hat. The sun, fat, not good. You Westerners," sign for Westerner, "you Westerners are not used to this sun. Let's wear your hat." He said, "It's very strong, very strong." Okay. Then all of a sudden, he turns to me again and he says, "Wendy, always keep cheerful in my love. Always keep cheerful in my love." Now, of course, I had no idea what even cheerfulness was, you know, and it's taken me it's taken a lifetime of, feels like a lifetime, many, anyway, you get it, years to realize and to discover for myself what that means. And I'll just share this quickly because I've gone on too long. Baba, one day, many years later, I heard within a very clear message from Baba, "Wendy, don't allow yourself to be brought down by what I bring up. Don't allow yourself to be brought down by what I bring up." And that was such a help. And I think of that when I don't feel cheerful, which can be quite, sometimes, depending on the period of my life, can be quite frequent. All right. Thank you so much. What a treat. And I hope, Ruth said I could come back later, but we must allow everyone to have time. Much love in Baba, everyone.
Jai Baba, Wendy.
Jai Baba.
You know, I often wonder one thing, that I had heard that Baba said you were his gazelle.
That is true. That is true.
Well, you're going to have to tell that.
I'd love to tell that. Perhaps later.
All right.
Thank
Jai
you.
Baba. Thank
Jai
you.
Baba, honey. Yes.
Miguel.
Oh, so quick. Okay. Okay. So I have a song for Mara's birthday. And it's a song that we sang here in our birthday parties for both Mani and Mara together. And I sang it also on Mara's birthday in the Samadhi when I was in India. So happy birthday, Mara. Coming soon in 2 days. Mera bavateno nishmata po ahavato. אנא עזרי לנו לאהוב את בבא עוד ועוד. מהרה בבתנו נשמתה פה אהבתו. אנא עזרי לנו לאהוב את בבא עוד ועוד. יפת ואצילית, צנועה ועדינה, כל כולך הווה אלוהיק למהר בבא. יפת ואצילית, צנועה ועדינה, כל כולך הווה אלוהיק למהר באהבה. Mera, the apple of his eye, his breast, his very breast, beloved's love. Please help us love Baba more and more and more. Mera, the apple of his eye, his breast, his very breast, beloved's love. Please help us love Baba more and more and more. You are beautiful and refined, so humble and so gentle. You are full of divine love for Meher Baba. You are beautiful and refined, so humble and so gentle. You are full of divine love for Meher Baba. Mera bavateno nishmata po ahavato. אנא עזרי לנו לאהוב את בבא עוד ועוד. מהרה בבתינו נשמתה פה אהבתו, אנא עזרי לנו לאהוב את בבא עוד ועוד. יפת ואצילית, צנועה ועדינה, כל כולך אהבה אלוהית למאר בבא. יפת ואצילית, צנועה ועדינה, כל כולך אהבה אלוהית למאר בבא. למאר בבא. I had the good fortune to meet Mehera twice. I came to Baba in 88, and I still had a few chances to be with her. She was absolutely wonderful. And when I met her, I knew she was fully God and his counterpart. And she saw everyone through and through. And she was so, so precious. So it was a wonderful gift to be with her and to know her, though I was very shy. I was thrown on her, almost fell on her when I came to say hello to her. And I just, this very strong meeting with her was embedded in my heart forever. Jai Baba.
Jai
Thank
Baba.
you.
So beautiful. Thank you, Miguel.
Thank you.
I knew you'd have something special today. Betty?
Hey, Baba.
Baba, thanks for your help.
Anyone who knows, I tell this story. This is my Mehera story, so forgive me. I tell it again and again. And I was just realizing I've been to India 3 times, only once with my family. The others I was by myself. And this time with my family is the one, the memorable one with Mehera. Well, it's funny. One time I was by myself, and I'll tell it quickly. Candy would be passed out. I don't know if it was exactly prasad, but anyway, we all got a piece or 2 of candy and with wrappers. And I would save my wrappers. I would unwrap it. And I saw her look at me like, I know what you're doing. That was just a little look. But the real story is our family is kind of a mixed family. And I was there with 3 of our daughter was 7, our son was 11, and then an older one was 15, our older son. And the 11-year-old had only just come to us at age 8. He was technically a foster child. He was a half brother to our children. So, and he wasn't mine and he wasn't Dave's. So we had to be a foster family. Such a wonderful kid. But trouble came with lots of baggage. So there we were on the porch, me and the children. I think Dave must have been there too. And so Mehera was kind of figuring out who we were. And so she said, so who are these? I was to introduce her to my kids. So our daughter Shireen was 7, was there. And then I turned to Gary and I said, and she said, oh, who's this? And I said, this is my stepson. And she gave me a look and she said, you, she said, no, she said, no, she said, no, don't refer to him, or didn't, something indicated, no, that wasn't the right way to, and then she turned to Gary, who was kind of spacing out. He was sitting, looking off at the porch or something, and she said, she said, Gary, who is this? And she pointed to me, and he said, oh, that's my mom. Kind of not. She looked at me like, got it? And that that was so. I tell Gary that story again and again, and he's a dear boy, a wonderful son. So that's all. Gee, Baba.
So sweet. Thank you, Betty.
Ruthie,
Yes.
I'm so sorry. May I just say something to Betty?
Yes.
Well, Betty, I just want to say that I'm sure you've heard this, but you remember the story when Shirimai, this relates to what you just said, the story of Shirimai and Gaimai arguing. Well, no, Shirimai was so fussing because Gaimai at Binger House kept asking for the same stories of Baba as a child over and over and over. Remember that? And Baba comes striding, and Shirimai had it. She would just, oh, stop pestering me. The same stories over and over. And Baba comes in and he says, what is going on here? What is this? And so Shirimai tells him, oh, Baba, I'm so frustrated. And Baba said, oh, but Shirimai, don't you know that all stories of me are fresh and can be told over and over and over? And that's what you came to me, Betty, because I feel the same way when I repeat the same stories hundreds of times. But you know he would say that about his beloved Mehera. So don't feel shy about telling it over and over. I understand completely. Thank you, Ruthie.
Yeah, no, thanks, Betty. Anytime, break in. And you know, Betty, anybody can speak at any time. We're all unmuted, so it's a time for celebration.
Oh, we're
And
unmuted? We're
well,
unmuted?
you can unmute yourself.
Oh, you don't want to hear me coughing and sneezing. Okay.
Betty, it was, you know, when you tell it, the tears are definitely bringing it as a fresh story. It's straight from your heart. Thank you so much. Thanks, Wendy. Roshani, I know I say your name wrong. Please correct me.
Jai Baba. It's fine. It's Roshni. It's fine.
Roshni, thank you.
Thank you. Jai Baba and happy birthday to Mehera. So, though I've not had the blessed opportunity to meet Mehera personally, but there is a significant connection with my first trip to Mehrabad in December 2010. I went on 18th December to Baba's abode, and on my first trip itself, I got to celebrate Mehra's birthday, and that created a very special space for me, even without knowing much details about her at that time. And I got to do seva for cleaning Baba's tomb, for cleaning Mehra's tomb, and to decorate her tomb with flowers. Years later, I got the blessing, and I thank Baba for making me feel worthy to have this. But I have a small marble piece of the first marble that was put on when Mehra's body was interred, and I've kept it with another piece of flooring from Baba's room in Mehrazad. And I would like to, since I love drawing and painting, I always connected beautifully with the sketches that Mehra did. And these are Mehra's sketches.
Wow.
They're there in the book Mehera. And I would like to read this one sweet humorous story around Krishna's birthday, which is Janmashtami. Lord Krishna's birthday fell while we were there, and we heard that the Prem Ashram boys wanted to celebrate it. That morning, Baba had a bath and put on a new sadra. And then I brushed his beautiful hair, and he went to meet the boys. They dressed him up as Krishna, and his photo was taken in that costume. We girls wanted to celebrate Krishna's birthday, but what should we do? Then we remembered that Hindus make a small cradle, put Krishna's picture in it, and sing lullabies to the photo. Flowers are also offered and sweets distributed. So we decided that we would make a cradle, not a small cradle, but an extraordinary one. We were going to make a large cradle for Baba himself to lie in. We girls all got together, and we were very excited. We found a nice sheet, some good strong rope, and we hung the sheet tied tightly at the four corners from the roof. Then we decorated this cradle with flowers. When Baba came to us, we garlanded him and said, "This year, Baba, we want to celebrate Krishna's birthday. Would you like to lie in this cradle we've made for you?" So Baba got in the cradle and smiling, he lay down. He knew that all the Premashram boys were happy and he wanted to please us too. Small Khorshid had a good voice and she knew a cradle song. So she and some others sang to Baba while we very gently rocked the cradle with Baba in it. About halfway through the song, we heard a strange noise. Baba asked, "What's that noise?" Then he quickly jumped out of the cradle and he was just in time. There was a big tear in the sheet, and a second longer, and Baba would have slid onto the floor through the slit. The bed sheet was quite new, and it had torn under Baba's back. It was fortunate that the cradle was only about 2.5 feet off the ground. Baba laughed, and we all laughed. He teased us, saying, "This is a very nice kind of cradle. This cradle. I like it very much. Now never mind." Baba then had Khorshid finish the cradle song, and that was the way we celebrated Lord Krishna's birthday. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Thank you, Rashni. That was beautiful. Great story.
Ruthie,
Sandy?
it's me again. I'm interrupting because I couldn't make out your name, honey. What was oh, Rosalie. Oh, that's easy.
No, honey, this is
No.
Roshni.
Oh, she's coming on. How do you, no, oh, there we go. Rashni.
Roshni.
Rashni. Have I got it? I just want to say, Rashni, how beautifully and expressively you read that. Oh my God, you sound like you're a professional reader. So expressive. Thank you. I've never heard
Thank
that
you to
story.
Baba.
Yeah, I've never heard that story. And one more question. Where are you?
I'm in Mumbai.
Oh my goodness. Oh, wonderful.
Sandy, Roshni does have a little bit of background in production, is it, Roshni?
Yes, production and direction.
All right. I'm just looking. I'm not seeing any hands up. I'll just remind people to raise your hand digitally. You hit Alt Y on a PC, and you hit Option Y on a Mac. And I know there are a lot of old, not. I mean, there are some.
Can I just say one thing before shutting my mic?
Oh,
I just wanted to say, there was a lot of trial and effort, how to love Baba, how to please Baba, and so on. Until one fine day, I was discussing something with an elder Baba lover who comes for our home satsangs. And upon discussing Chant's topic and conversation of Mehera came on, and that triggered something deep within me. That Baba has said that Mehera is his very breath. And rather than my personal efforts, which in my human capacity may not be up to the mark, why not involve Mehera into it? Because she is his very breath, and it would be easier to get to Baba through Mehera and asking her help how to please Baba and love him as he ought to be loved. And there were a lot of things that flowed after that. So thank you to Mehera, and happy birthday once again. Jai Baba. Thank you.
Jai Baba. Thank you, Roshni. And Rainey, I saw your name up there, and then your hand fell down, but you're next.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Baba. How's my volume?
Sounds great.
Oh, I had a lot to do with Mehera, as most people know. I started going to India with a group in 1973, and we had been so busy
being around Francis Brabazon for 4 years with plays and poetry and just regular day jobs as well, and going to the abode every Friday night and coming back on Sunday nights, and always welcome to stay on Avatar's abode, that we really never had time to do things like learn the prayers, find out about the women, other than what Lorna Rouse would tell us about the women. And so when I got to India, very young and little and somewhat shy, married to a very famous filmmaker man, Steve Hine, that did all the Mandali Moments films that you've all become familiar with, hopefully, the 24 films done in 1974. So when I got there, and these, to my mind, confident women, I mean, not showy or flashy, but just they were themselves, and they would just speak to you very openly and ask quite open questions. And anyway, I went every year at Amartithi time for as long as the women were alive, pretty much, missing a couple of years once my daughter was born. And so I thought how remarkable they were. And finally, Mehera started to get involved in my trips of coming. So people are talking about divine aspects of Mehera. It'd be fun to talk about practical aspects of Mehera. So one of the things she would always do is say, how do you do this? You just work in this jewelry store and you can come every year, you know, how do you do this? And I said, well, I do it by the skin of my teeth most of the time. I find the money, and it was $700 return on Air India, Air Alitalia from Australia to, I'm in California in Berkeley now, where I live, but I lived in Australia most of my life, and then went back there also for 6 years when Francis was passing. Anyway, so how do you do it? And I said, oh, well, I've done it, but next year could be something, you know, because I have to have a car to get this 100 miles from Brisbane up to Avatar's abode every Friday, and I probably won't be able to come next year. I think this was like for 77 or 78. She said, oh, just borrow the money. All those men have lots of money. Just borrow the money and then just pay it back after you get back. Don't worry about that at all. So that next year when I came, I said, well, how did you do it? She remembered like as if the conversation had not stopped. I don't know if most people notice this with Mehera, because there were letters. I have like 50 letters from Mehera. There were letters through the year too about very domestic things. How did you do it? And I said, well, I borrowed the money from this person that had a lot of money. And she said, so you just pay it back? If you pay it back like at 150 a week, you'll have it paid off by June. Then you can save again for the following year. I mean, every detail, and remembering that it was $700 and there's 12 months in the year, every detail was there, you know, incredibly practical about matters. One time she asked me to sing, and she said, today's a perfect day for you to sing, because I've told this story before. Mehera would always have me be ready. I could sing, but I wasn't very good at guitar, so I had to have a songbook for the chords. Always be ready to sing The Dawn Light Breaks. So she would give me a particular nod and sort of look at the sky, and I knew that was The Dawn Light Breaks, right? And the poor Americans thought, this poor girl, she only knows one song, and we're so sick of Danny Boy, you know, if she sings it again, we'll... But no, I had already seen lots of people not do what was required, and so I would always do Danny Boy. In 77, when Mehera had mentioned we'd gotten extremely close that year, there were several situations, a divorce, and get rid of him was actually the main thing Mehera said to me about divorcing. Anyways, that also was practical. So I wrote a song, two and for Mehera in 77. I never really heard it. I heard one other Mehera song, a beautiful story actually, that should be told, and I don't know what happened to this boy. He was from Melbourne, and he got all dressed up to come to Mehera's. He had sort of a fuzzy, longish hairdo, but he got in this pale grey suit and got all dressed up. And I think he was a Greek Australian, not Tony Zois, another boy. And anyway, he came to the veranda, and he'd been told all the rules about being around the women. And he stood there sort of like this, like an Italian soprano. And he said, I would like to sing to Mehera. And Mehera said, yes, oh yes, do go ahead and sing. And he sang from West Side Story. I'd still cry if I think about it. He sang, Mehera, I just met a girl called Mehera, and suddenly I find that name's a lovely sound to me. I mean, we all just stood there. I mean, forget about Danny Boy tune being corny, you know, there wasn't any of that. It was so sublime. You could feel the dust listening. Everything was listening. And Mehera just stared at him and just didn't take her eyes off him till he'd finished. It was one of the most sublime moments on, well, there's thousands of sublime moments on the veranda, but that always stayed with me. That was like 1975, I think he came. And so that stayed in my mind because you can, Mehera is such a great phrase. I noticed that Lisa Brandy has Baba and Mehera. Oh, Baba and Mehera. Baba and Mehera. Oh, Baba and Mehera. She and Mark sing that. Mehera just fits into so many things. The phrase, you can Mehera it, you can Mehera it. I've got like 20 friends with children called Mehera. Every single one of them being, you know, a linguistic type and intersound, pronounces it slightly differently. Mehera, 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 Mehera. They're all different, slightly different pronunciations of Mehera. And so it fits into songs beautifully. And of course, darling Mani, after Mehera died, she wrote To the Glory of Love with Mehera as Baba's queen. And you would see a lot of people come. And of course, eventually there were many Mehera songs. One thing Mehera did when I had Frainietta, who was epileptic and Down syndrome, Mehera became very involved in Franny. She also became very involved in Laura, but the two girls are like so incredibly different, and Franny with many more special needs. The year she got into a night when I got divorced that I should never tell my age. And she wished that she had never told her age. So she told me to take 10 years off my age. I suppose she was trying to marry me off again. I don't know. Take 10 years off your age. So I took 10 years off my age and would tell fibs and put wrong dates till finally that date started to show up, you know, that this really, I was 10 years younger. And so the year she passed, was the last year I was there, 1989. We happened to be there for 6 months. It's our second trip for 6 months with Franny. Franny had better karma than me. We'd get to stay for 6 months. So Mehera gave myself and Judith Garbett a beautiful lunch of lamb, sag, and for dessert, colostrum custard. And she said, try to have this once a week because this is how I kept Baba going, was with lamb and sag and colostrum custard. So please try to have this once a week. And I would like you to outlive Franny. So I always just said, yes, Mehera. I saw other people get into all sorts of strife with ums and buts and ifs. So I always said, yes, Mehera. And somehow when I was around her, there were no worries, there were no problems. Everything was perfect. It was just lovely. It wasn't divine. It was just lovely. It was just like Bailey's Irish cream. It was just smooth, you know, around her, as you know. And she loved our femininity. And I would always dress up. And she said to me one time when I sang in a green dress, she said, try to wear green when you sing because green creates longing. And so I've always tried to wear green when I'm doing things to do with Mehera. Then this time of having the food, Judith had to go out to do something, and then Mehera pulled me back and said, you know, I told you not to tell your age, and we decided you should take 10 years off it. Well, I have realized that's telling fibs, and that's not good. So I think from now on, just don't tell your age. I said, yes, Mehera, but I'm thinking, oh no, this is a very difficult thing to be friendly with and try to uphold, you know. So that was one. The other was, don't let Franny sit on any men's knees, ever. and don't cut her hair. So out of my mouth, being very feminine, went, but what about split ends? And she said, well, be practical, cut the split ends off and don't cut your hair either. As I said, it would make me feel very relaxed if you would outlive Franny. So I just said, yes, Mehera. So we come out onto the porch, and there standing sort of Mehera, you know, she walks very quickly. So she's out before me, and then she stops because Rhoda Dubash gets between us and says, so you had a nice birthday. Rhoda was very frank, as we know. And Rhoda says, oh, so you had a very nice birthday lunch. I said, oh, yes, it was beautiful. And how old were you? Right there, girls and boys. So I sort of glanced, and there's Mehera. Oh, the most sublime smile, just looking into my eyes. And I said, I'm a bit of this and I'm a bit of that. So, you know, tongue, as Eric Solobacki says, Rainey has sun to tongue, and so be careful, it comes straight out. A bit of this and a bit of that. And so Rhoda says, and you're a bit vain too. I said, oh, definitely a lot of that. And Mehera goes, aha. And I felt like in that instant, I'll work this out. I will work this out. And somehow with women, we like to confide our age, or that we got the dress at the Goodwill. It wasn't that, all that sort of stuff, to be comfortable with one another. So it's been quite a test as to how to almost tell my age and not quite tell my age, and a bit of this and a bit of that, ever since 1989. And so then she asked me to sing. And I said, well, Mehera, I don't have the songbook, because she'd asked me to lunch. She said, just sing anything. And so my guitar was there. So I sang Gazing, which you all know, which is just a song I sort of invented in India on one chord. And that was the last song I sang to her. And gazing into your eyes, not knowing how to look away. And Mehera said, and that's exactly how it was. If Baba would catch your eye, you couldn't look away. It was, you were on, latched on, almost like breastfeeding. You were on, and you couldn't look away till he glanced away, and then you could look away. And then straight away she went into a story I've told before. One day I was looking into Baba's eyes, she said, and the light came in the window and it got into Baba's eyes. And it whirled and whizzed like a dervish. It couldn't stop spinning because it was just light, you see. And there it was, in Baba's eyes, in God's eyes. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba Rainey. So beautiful. So beautiful. Thank you.
At the end, if you need, I can close with a Mehera song or something.
All right.
Okay.
Mariah? Are you there?
Oh, yes, I am.
Hello, darling.
Hi, guys. Happy Mehera birthday.
Happy birthday.
So, this is kind of impromptu, but when I met Mehera on the porch in 1987, Dr. Ann was sitting next to me, and Mehera looked at us and she said, now you two sing. And we both look at each other. I had just met Dr. Ann. I had just arrived there 2 days before. And she was just as shy as I was. And we both looked at each other, what are we going to sing? And so we decided to sing a nursery song. From most French people know this song when they're small, this song like Frère Jacques and all this. But this one is called À la claire fontaine. And À la claire fontaine, it means to the clear fountain. And I'll just translate the chorus because it blew my mind looking back how perfect the song was. And luckily, Dr. Ann, thank God, she knew all the verses. I just knew the chorus. So the song goes, à la claire fontaine, to the clear fountain I went, and strolling one day, I found the water so beautiful that I bathed in it. And what we call the hook is, I have loved you for so long, never will I forget you. Now, what does that line fit in a child's nursery rhyme song? I have loved you for so long, never will I forget you. And this is what we sang. So I'll just sing a little bit of it, the chorus. So excuse the sound because it's kind of hard to figure out with the keyboard, but I'll try my best. Let me know if you don't hear properly. Okay, so it goes. À la claire fontaine, en allant promener, j'ai trouvé l'eau si belle que je m'y suis baignée. Il y a longtemps que je t'aime, jamais je ne t'oublierai. And so that was the song. I don't see anyone. I'm not sure if I'm still on, but...
Oh, darling, and you could sing more of it if you'd like.
Okay. Well, now I'm going to sing a song that... These are Mehera's words. Mehera, after Baba dropped the body, of course, was so distraught. And she would go around in Meherazad and dictate to Meru on little chit of paper, little pieces of paper, some words, how much she longed to Baba and all of that. So they're written in Lord Mehera Meher. And when I saw them, I said, oh, I've got to put this to music. So this is what I call, these are the exact words from Mehera that I put to music. And I call it Mehera's Prayer. So I'll sing that. Oh, Baba, my darling, come to me. Oh, Baba, my darling, come to me. Come back to me, sweet love. Oh, how I miss you. When will I see you and hold you? I love you, and I know you love me. I love you, and I know you love me. My heart's love is all for you. I'll be true to your love for me. Come, we'll be together forever and ever. Oh, Baba, my darling, come to me. Oh, Baba, my darling, come to me. Come back to me, sweet love. Oh, how I miss you. When will I see you and hold you?
My darling, come to me. Oh, Papa, my darling, come to me. Jai Baba.
Jay Baba, dear. Thank you so much. That was gorgeous. Andrea. Hello.
Well, I have a story about ironing Baba's sheets at Meherazad. So as many of you know, I lived in India and I worked at the trust office, which kept me in town, and I didn't have as many days out at Meherazad, hardly any, for many years. Then in 86, I think it was, I asked Mani, would it be okay if I took one day off a week to go out to Meherazad? You know, Mehera was getting older, and how the importance of spending time with her. And my roommate at the time was Casey, who went out there every day. And so Mani said, yes, that would be good for you to spend more time with Mehera. You can take one day a week off. So when, you know, as a resident there, you were given work. You didn't just sit around and flop around. So I asked for work, and one of the jobs there was ironing the sheets. They call it a counterpane. In Baba's bedroom, there's a canopy that wasn't used when he was alive. They used mosquito curtain, but they put beautiful bed sheet on Baba's bed, and the canopy matched. And there was the pillow cover and everything. So, but the big job, so Mehera was in charge, I think, of this. And they didn't have a fancy ironing board or that sort of thing. And you had to set up a stool, and a piece of wood, and then very carefully kept in a special place, very clean. It had to be never touch the floor. Your hands had to be immaculately washed, and you would unfold this layers of fabric that was the ironing surface on which you could iron Baba's sheets. Now, I'm not sure actually what year this was. It could have been earlier, but initially I had the blessing of ironing on the dining table in Baba's house. And it was at nap time, so I had to be very quiet. It was after lunch table was cleared. And Mehera would sometimes be, so, you know, the instructions were, don't distract Mehera. You're there to iron the sheets, make yourself as small as possible, and just, you know, let Mehera rest at rest time. And that was very important as a resident, that you shouldn't take up Mehera's time, because she gave her all to every moment that she spent with a person. So, but I would, as I was ironing on the dining table, I would hear Mehera in that little room where Baba's bathing room. It was now used as Mehera's changing room. And she kept her, you know, change of clothes, and she would talk to Baba. I think I would hear her little voice coming in through the connecting little thing. But the real story was when I had to iron. You see, the weather was very hot in India, and the resident women who were there, you know, who were living there also in the later years. Well, I'm not sure, but whoever was working there, people wanted to be with Mehera on the porch. If you were ironing, you were somewhere else, and you didn't get to hear the stories and be in that exquisitely beautiful blissful environment. Even if she was yelling at you or you made a mistake, it was still this kind of a bliss. I felt that way when any of the Mandali corrected me, but especially Mehera. So one day, one of the different places that I ironed was after Rano died in 86, or she might have still been alive. I brought the ironing apparatus into the bedroom. It was stored in that house, that little house that Mehru and Rano and Arnavas lived in. So I would iron in Rano's bedroom. And it was hot. It was so hot. And the iron was, no, I think it was electric and not coals. I can't remember now, but it was a big heavy iron, an old-fashioned thing. And I'm ironing away, and I can hear the voices from the porch. Somebody's singing a song to Mehera, you know, and I'm missing all the good stuff. And suddenly I hear this pitter-patter, pip-pop, flip-flop, 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 flip-flop. And that was the sound of Mehera's shoes, what they call sapats, these Parsi slippers. You know, you've seen the pictures of them. They were like red, dark red leather or suede. And you would see her, you know, and you could hear the sound, flip, flop. And over she came all the way around to Rano's room with a piece of cake, prasad, so that I wouldn't feel that I was left out. And she was so sweet. And so, hell, you know, now it was just fine to be in Rano's room ironing and missing out. And so that was she often was very sensitive to at least any of the women, the competition around her, that people felt envious that so-and-so was spending more time with her. She was very sensitive about that. And of course, I lived with Casey. So Casey that was her job. She was always at Meherazad, and I was always at the trust office. So a very sweet thing Mehera did in her sensitivity and humor. She had a great deal of humor. When I would come on the porch, there was a whole year where anytime I came on the porch, she would say, "Oh, Jai Baba, Andrea," and she'd look around and Casey would be there, Davana would be there. And she would say, because I couldn't come to Meherazad very often, she would say, "Andrea works for helps Mani at the trust office." She would announce this to everyone there. "Andrea helps Mani at the trust office." Something like that, making an excuse why I came late or I wasn't there all the time. And it was very touching because I was embarrassed, of course, but she made me feel that helping Mani was such a worthy, good enough reason not to be there on the porch with Mehera. Whereas if you were over in the hall with Erich, she might say, "Oh, so you like those stories, do you?" You know, so where's so-and-so? "Oh, they're in the hall with Erich." Oh, you know, it might not have been the same. But she would make an announcement that I was helping Mani, so it was okay. And those are my two favorite stories. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. So beautiful. Thank you, hon. So good to see you, Andrea. Now, I see that Winnie Barrett is here, and I don't know if Winnie has a story. Winnie? Would you like to share something?
Yes, I was just unmuting myself. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, in the early days, I was very afraid to sing by myself or make my voice known. And the first time I was back after the 69 Darshan was in 1978. And I threw fearfulness into the Dooney. And I ended up being able to sing a song at the Dooney fire with Heather and Erico on either side of me. And so I was feeling gloriously happy because people were singing with me, and it was beautiful and very touching. And so I burst into the fourth verse, and they weren't singing anymore. It was Baba's way of just saying, you can do at least a little by yourself, you know. So over the years, I got more and more confident that I could sing a song. And I think it was in 1983 that I was feeling braver, and I sang a song at the Women's Arty. And when Mehera came out, she gave me the sign. She really liked the song. So I'm going to sing that song. And I haven't been singing for about a year, and my voice isn't what it used to be, but here goes. My Lord, he said unto me, do you like my garden so fair? You may live in this garden if you will keep the grasses green, and I'll return in the cool of the day. Now is the cool of the day. Now is the cool of the day. Oh, this earth is a garden, the garden of my Lord, and he walks in his garden in the cool of the day. Then my Lord, he said unto me, do you like my pastures of green? You may live in this garden if you will feed my lambs, and I'll return in the cool of the day. Now is the cool of the day. Now is the cool of the day. Oh, this earth is a garden, the garden of my Lord, and he walks in his garden in the cool of the day. Then my Lord, he said unto me, do you like my garden so free? You may live in this garden and help others to love me, and I'll return in the cool of the day. Now is the cool of the day. Now is the cool of the day. Oh, this earth is a garden, the garden of my Lord, and he walks in his garden in the cool of the day. Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, Winnie. I've missed your voice. That was beautiful. That was so beautiful. Thank you, honey. Thank you so much. Wendy, did you want to say? I thought you were saying something.
But
Okay.
I just have to say, when I want to say something after everyone, it's so difficult not to. I've been very strong and restrained because everybody, my God, the singing is just so beautiful. Oh my God. Really, I can't tell you. I'm just moved so deeply. Mariah and Rainey and Winnie. Oh my God. I think that, oh yes. And Mikhail, how do you say it? Mikhail?
You got it, Miguel.
Oh, good, Miguel. Oh my God. And did anyone else sing that I missed? Doesn't matter. Anyway, I won't spend time on that. I just wanted to say thank you so much for the gift of those songs. My goodness. Well, let's see. Yes, Winnie, I don't think you heard in the beginning, and Mariah, I said that I have too much to share, as most of you do. I know how close so many women were to Mehera, and that's why this means so much. I'm sure to all of us, to hear these intimate stories. Oh my God, some of them are, I mean, they're just so beautiful and intimate. So I have an intimate one to share it's personal, but I asked Buzz, do you think this is all right? Is it too personal? He said, no, it's not. So I'm going to, and also I know that you know how this is 74. I'm going to share the entry in my diary from, I was very smart to keep a diary, which is extremely rare to be smart for me in terms of keeping a diary, but I did. And I just want to preface this by saying, those of you who were there soon after Baba dropped his body, you saw the grief, the terrible grief that Mehera was in. It was heartbreaking to see, heartbreaking because she was overcome. She would begin talking about Baba and then all of a sudden just start weeping. I mean, just weeping and turn away. It was so profound. There aren't words for that kind of grief, but you all know, if you witnessed it, you know. So I'm just going to share. As I mentioned in the beginning, I was very blessed to have some intimate time. By that, I mean alone with Mehera. Oh, the sweetest picture just came on. Someone's little painting. Who did that? Oh, Ruth, did you do that? What?
I did. I
Oh,
just,
it's so cute.
I
So
didn't
cute.
mean to interrupt you though.
Oh, no, that's okay. I hadn't gotten to the, important part. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I've got to find it. I mean, I had it marked, but let's see. Uno momento. Okay, I'll read the two passages. Sitting with Mehera today, 1974, I was 23. Very young, very ignorant. Oh God, oh God. If some of you remember yourselves at 23. So ignorant. Oh my God. I mean, oh, okay. And actually that lasted a very long time, that ignorance. And of course it's still here with me. Anyway, okay. So sitting with Mehera today, I was overcome with awe that was so great, it almost escaped me. I felt very limited in my capacity to feel her humility and the totality of her giving to her beloved. Her purity and love is truly divine in nature. And yet even her love was not enough, or so she felt. Next passage. Thank Bob. Oh, no, wrong one. That's Myrtle Beach. Never mind. Wait a minute. Uh-oh, hold on. I do have it. Yes, here we go. I feel in my heart that the greatest gift I could receive at Meherazad, besides his love, is to see Mehera become like a child in her love and devotion to Baba. She became so helpless that she couldn't stop the tears from rolling down her face. I can't read my own writing. Well, I can read part of it. Let's see. She said, "Oh, Wendy, I asked Baba why he had to leave me. Why didn't he take me with him? I love him so much. Everything I have is his. But I know he wants me to give his love to all who come. But I don't love him as I ought. How could anyone love such a great man as him? but my hands and feet were tied, you know. I used to, oh yes, so sweet. I used to stand outside his room and peep in to see what was happening, to watch him sleeping. Someone told Baba, and he forbid it anymore. I would miss him when he would go to the men's side and I couldn't go. That was all a quote. She began to cry so pitifully, so helpless in her longing to be with him constantly. Quote, I want to be with him next time, to be in his arms. But Mani says, we must have no thought of what we want. We must be resigned to his will, to want what he wants. I think there's one more I'd like to share. You know, I can't find it, so let's someone else have a turn, please, if you would like.
No, that's great, Wendy.
Thank you so much for asking.
Yeah, keep looking. We want to hear more.
Oh, and also the gazelle story. Wendy was going to do the gazelle story.
Oh, would you like me to tell that
Yeah.
now? Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
I would love to. Thank you, Rosalie. That's so sweet. Now, this is a story I do not tell often, but because people are asking, I am starting to tell it more because it makes me so happy. 1962, again, I was 11. And one day, well, let me say this first, excuse me. I spent a great deal of time inside on the afternoon program, thousands of people, as you know, be under the pandal, Baba on the stage, and I am inside Guru Prasad because I don't know why. I was drawn to be with the women and with Mehera. And I found Mehera's little peeping hole, her little window, which I didn't find out till many, 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 many years later. But I felt so badly because I have to share this. It's embarrassing, or not embarrassing, but anyway, Mehera said to me, you know, Wendy, in a very sweet voice like this, because she didn't want me to be hurt, but she said, you know, you took my spot in 62. Oh my God, of course my heart sank. Oh my God. But then it came back up again because I loved seeing Baba from behind because I could see his little pigtail and it was always tied with a little blue or pink ribbon, and Mehera did it, and a braid, of course. And Mehera would do that every morning. Anyway, so I'm standing in the back and all of a sudden, actually I must have gone into the main hall for a moment because all of a sudden, now wait a minute, it's open day, and that was the last day of the public darshan. And this, so Mani came into the hall and saw me and said, Wendy, I have a garland here that this woman wanted to give to Baba, but she just got word that someone in her family is ill and she cannot wait any longer in line. Would you like to take it out to Baba? Oh my God. Well, now let me just say this again. I was extremely self-conscious at 11 years old. And if you can believe it, again, it's a little embarrassing, but keep in mind my age. I said, oh no, Mani, oh no. I was so shy to go out in thousands and thousands of people in front of all those people. I wasn't thinking straight, of course, not getting my priorities straight. But of course I said yes. The next second I said, oh yes, Mani. And I have to tell you, it was the most beautiful garland. Oh my God, because it was very thin and small and delicate. I mean, truly, I've never seen a garland like it. It's all, anyway, made out of small jasmine flowers, white jasmine with little yellow centers. Oh my God. It was unbelievably beautiful. So I took it very carefully and I went out onto the dais. And Baba, now of course, Baba was in the middle of silently and, what's the word? There were no words really, but silently and fully giving his love to the crowd. Just waves and waves of love. I felt that coming up to him. And he glanced at me, which was very rare. In 1962, the biggest difference between when I saw Baba in 58 at 6 to when I saw him at 11, at my age has nothing to do with it. The point is, in 58, Baba looked at you. His glance would fall upon you and stay there. Not true in 62. Oh my God, totally opposite. He would glance around, even in the morning. Well, that's not quite true in the women's intimate time in the morning with the women. He was slower with his gaze. But most of the time, Baba's eyes were just roaming across the crowd and also with us in the morning sessions. So, but he glanced at me. And by the way, I meant to say the moment I stepped out on the dais and saw Baba, all those people disappeared instantly. And I just focused on Baba. And I went up to him and he glanced at me quickly. And I said, Mani, and I told him the story quickly. Mani asked me to bring this to you on behalf of this woman who had to leave. So Baba leaned over a bit and I put it around his neck. And, you know, whenever I was with Baba, and you would hear anyone say this who was with Baba, time stopped. And I'm sure many of you have had that experience. When you're with Baba inwardly, there's nothing else. There's no time, sense of time going forward or backward. It just is. So time stopped. All those people disappeared. It was absolute silence, which of course was not the case, but it felt, I heard nothing. And then I knew to leave quickly because Baba, you know, as I said, so I didn't linger, but my hand, you know, I have to say I was so natural with Baba because he was so natural with me from the beginning as a 6-year-old. You know how Baba was with children, so natural. So I'm coming to the punchline, but I wanted to describe to you what came before because it explains what happened. So I'm leaving and I didn't know this until recently because a clip of me, I had always hoped. Mother took a photo, but the only photo that came out was with me in front of Baba, but with my back, wearing a turquoise dress, my back to the audience. But a film just came out. No, it didn't just come out, but it's called In the House of Their Father, the Sufis put out. And in there, the whole thing is shown. My coming out up to Baba with the garland. No, it doesn't show coming out. It just shows me in front of Baba with the garland. And then coming away. So this is how I know that my hand was on Baba's arm and hand as I was leaving. And that Baba was watching me leave. So, okay. So I come back into the hall and I have absolutely no memory of this because Mani had to tell me many years later, not until the 80s, I think. Okay. And what happened, what she saw, I didn't even know she was there. She must have been in the corner or something near the door. She said that I began to leap and dance and whirl like a dervish. And I was quite tall for 11. And in those days, quite thin. Which is not the case now. But I was light as a feather, she said. And she said what came to her was I was like a gazelle. So she told Baba later that evening this. And Baba said, yes, Wendy is my gazelle. So thank you, Rosalie and Ruth, for remembering that, because it's such a gift to me. I'm sure you agree, there's no greater joy than talking about Baba, sharing about him and his beloved Mehera and his close ones. That's why this is such a gift today that I think, Ruth, it was your idea to have this gathering. So I am very, very grateful. Thank you all. Jai Baba. Happy birthday, Mehera.
Happy birthday, Mara and Jay Baba. Thank you, Wendy. It was kind of a group effort for this idea, but I appreciate you thinking of me always. All right, Mr. Jeff Overton. Are you there?
There. Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. I'll get you up on the screen in just a moment.
Okay.
Trying to find where I can get Wendy unpinned here. Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay. Well, there are a lot of things I could say and stories, but I just want to say that I had never met anyone like Mehera. She was like the other, I think of Erich coming from the muck up and Mehera came from heaven down. There was just such a warm expanse inside of her. And I know anytime she would glance at me or any of us, my whole body would glow. Her eyes, there was so much love in her eyes. But anyway, so back then for some reason, the people at Meherazad thought that because I was a caretaker at the center, I was into construction and repair and everything, which I really didn't know. But so I would get there and Mehera would say, well, Jeff, we'll let you, each year I would go and she'd say, well, Jeff, I'll let you, get a couple of days rest. And then we have some projects. So I got to spend a lot of time around the main house with Mehera and Mehera and all of that. But on one of my trips, this is in the mid 70s, probably around 76. I had been there for 4 months and I was coming, I had arranged, oh, wait 1 second, we're having a problem here.
That should be better.
Just a second.
No problem. Take your time.
Yeah. So this was in around 76 and I had been there for 4 months and I was at the end of my 120-day visa and I had arranged that I would go to Meherazad. This would be my last time at Meherazad, and I had a rickshaw to take me back at after the morning session. So after the morning session, I went over to Mehera's porch and I said, Mehera, I have to go back to the West. I'm leaving today. She's on the porch looking down at a number of us. And she says, Jeff, you're not ready to go yet. It's not time for you to go. And so she turned and there was a large photograph on the porch and she said some words, toward that photograph. And then, as Dennis McCabe was there and as we were leaving, he said, Jeff, you're going to get to stay longer. You get to stay for Baba's birthday, because, Baba never refused anything that Mehera asked. I say, yeah. I was really feeling terrible. But anyway, so everybody got to stay at Meherazad and I took the lonely rickshaw back into town. I get there to the Mayor Colony, was where I was staying. And someone comes out and says, Jeff, this just doesn't seem right. You're having to go just before Baba's birthday. That was Scott O'Neill. Then he pulls out the piece of paper from the trust from Adi and saying, your reservations have changed. You can stay for Baba's birthday another 3 days. I thought, well, how could that happen? I mean, I never made any attempt to change my reservations. What if I'm supposed to meet somebody along the way or something like that? But anyway, I mean, this was so. After that, I was, my heart could handle, just that kind of reprieve, even if it was for 3 more days, and I got to be there for Baba's birthday. So anyway, here's what. Are you able to hear me okay? Okay. They're saying.
I think you could sing a song and it would be pure.
Yeah, we're going to do a song.
Because I can't hear you
Oh.
from here. Okay.
Oh, we're having some problem here.
I'll wait just a second.
Well, take your time, but Nan, you sound great.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you can, okay, I can't hear us.
You can't see her.
She can't hear herself, but
You want to tell about the song?
Yeah, we can't see either.
So here's what about this song. This song I'm thinking of, I picture this as Mehera looking back over her life to the early 20s when before Bob had begun his silence, kind of reminiscing on those times. So we've hardly ever sung this song, so bear with us.
We can't see none.
Yeah, I mean, that's okay.
It doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, it's too cramped here. Evenings in autumn, the glowing fire lights up your face in orange and gold. I see your sweet smile shine through the darkness. Its lines are etched in my memory. So I'd know you by heart. Mornings in springtime, sharing love's secrets. We'd like morning was gone. We were like sweethearts, whispering for hours. The love you gave me lives on and on, 'cause I know you by heart. I still hear your voice on cool monsoon days, whispering like the wind. You left in winter, the leaves were turning. I gazed on sunsets of orange and gold. I see your sweet smile. I hear you singing. You're still here beside me every day, 'cause I know you by heart. 'Cause I know you by heart. Jai Baba.
Oh, that was wonderful. Just wonderful.
Well, we're learning how to do it.
No one sees imperfections. We just the perfect one that shines through. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Jeff, that was incredible. And
Oh,
Nan, thank you so
yeah.
much. What a gift.
Thank you.
Oh my God. And you wrote that, obviously.
No, no,
Oh,
but
no?
we Baba-ized it.
Oh,
We
okay.
Mehera-ized it.
You did a really fine job.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Mara song.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeff. Jai Baba. Viola. So happy to see you. Are you there? Viola?
There. Jai Baba.
Hey, Baba.
Jai Baba. Jai Baba. And
happy birthday, Mara.
Happy birthday, Mara. Thank you, Baba, for Mara. And somebody had all the shares brought back Mara to my heart and memory. And I can't say how grateful, and the songs and seeing everyone. You know, Mara's natural courtesy, that element of seeing our hearts and responding to them and loving us. And somebody said, yes, she saw us just the way Baba saw us, straight through to who we were. And I certainly experienced that the first time I met her, even before meeting her. Miss Krask had told me before I went to India, don't do what anybody says. Don't listen to anybody. And don't take prasad from anyone. Only Baba can give prasad. Except, she said, Mara. Whatever Mara says, you do that as though Baba is asking you, telling you to do that. And of course, everyone who met Mara here probably had the same experience, that it wasn't even a question. Of course, if Mara wanted something, it would be a thrilling thing to be able to do it. And there's so many things everybody said, touched off. I tried to take notes so I could share them, but one time Mara said to me, people were leaving the porch, and sometimes she would hold me back. Sometimes she would call me in to give me food and talk to me in the kitchen. So one time she was just holding me back, and she said, Baba said that anyone who loves him one-pointedly can sleep for 700 years. And when he comes back, she can be with him. So at first I thought she was telling me, oh, remember Baba one-pointedly, and maybe she was, but then later I realized Baba said she loves Baba as he should be loved. So hopefully it is so. She's sleeping and will be back so we can see her when she comes again. Because there's no beauty besides Baba's to equal Mara's. No courtesy, no thoughtfulness, no kindness, no generosity of heart. Really, it just doesn't exist. Only in Mara and Baba. And those little moments where we've read and heard so many stories of Baba answering the calls of the heart, and just heard stories of Mara answering the calls of the heart. And of course I have some stories like that, but I'm not sure what to share. Meher Baba. Yes, hearing that when Baba looked in our eyes, we wouldn't look away. So it was with Mara. And truly, his divine counterpart, she is him in my heart and in my thoughts and in my experience, and her love. It was in her voice, it was in her presence, it was in her eyes, it was in her kindness, her generosity. And I'm not even telling any stories. Baba, please let me have one to tell. The last time I saw Mehera, I can tell this story. I mean, I have stories, but they're just not coming. The last time I had, it looked like I was going to have to marry. I was holding off and hoping not to, and so I brought a gent to India. And Mehera had always, when I'd been there, given me those little love glances and kept me back many, many times and held me to stay a little longer when people left. And this wasn't happening. And one day she blessed my marriage to this fellow, and I didn't even want to get married. And I left and I went up Seclusion Hill and wept and came back, and she's so surprised. Why weren't you here? And I said, well, Mary, I actually didn't want to marry. You know, I want to be with her. She said, no, don't go this way and that way with your mind. You just do something. You stick to something. That was one story, which I wasn't even planning to tell. But there's another story. During that trip, she wasn't actually giving me all the attentions. And one day I couldn't bear it. I thought, she doesn't want me here. So I didn't go to the porch that day. I went instead to visit Khorshid. And the next day I came and I was on the porch, maybe having relieved my pain. And Mehera kept me back, and where were you? I said, oh, I went to visit Khorshid, Mehera. She said, Khorshid takes all my friends. She said, you always be here. So, of course, I didn't need any more love glances or attention. And there's so many stories, but one more. When I was leaving the last time, I didn't know it was going to be the last time I would see her. And again, she'd always I felt so much of me, and I felt like her friend and child, and, you know. So she hadn't been so much, and I walked down the porch and she hadn't even said goodbye, and I didn't take the moment to say goodbye, and she didn't bring prasad out, nothing. And I was very hangdog, and I was with beautiful Janet, and all of a sudden I heard viola, and I turned around and looked up, and Mehera was at the top of the porch, and she said, I love you. And she said, I said it first. And then she said, when you go back, be happier. And she said, 3 more things, but I can't remember them all at the moment because I didn't jot them down, and I'm shy too. And the first time she met me and she asked my name, I could hardly speak it. And she said, don't worry. She said, I was shy too. Anyway, she called me Viola, and that's how I got this name. And one of the other things she shared, I never like to share because I'm selfish and I don't want everybody else to do it. But she said, because I want to be by Baba and Mehera. And she said, I'm going to try to be unselfish. Ask Baba when he comes again to be by him and serve him. So that's what we're to do. Send you all love from Baba and Mehera, and grateful for you each, and memories of Mehera and Baba and all the beautiful voices. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba, sweet Viola, you just brought Mara right to us.
Yeah.
Thank you
And,
so much, dear
and
love.
may I say, Ruthie?
Yes.
Viola? Do you say Viola, honey, or Viola? Viola? Does it matter?
Mara said Viola, and let anyone call you anything they want to.
Well, I just wanted to say, honey, I think you remembered a lot of great things. Thank you. Each thing you said was so beautiful. You may not have remembered. You remembered a lot of things. Thank you.
Viola. Thank you, dear.
Can I say something? It's Lightka.
Yes,
I'm bursting in. I just want to say one of my favorite memories in my life is all snuggled up with Viola in Mara's bedroom in the guest house, trading Mara stories after a successful bow visit when we were spent. And I will never forget that joy that we shared and had, and the intimacy and oneness. And anyway, it's wonderful to see you, old friend.
Thank you, Laika. Okay, Tina.
Well, I think it was Marcia requested I Walk with the King. I do have a recording of Buzz Connor singing it, and I'm going to attempt to sing along with Buzz because I don't know the words, but I'll do my best.
Okay.
In sorrow I wandered, my spirit oppressed, but now I'm happy, securely I rest, from morning till evening, at carols I sing, and this is the reason I walk with the King. I walk with the King, Meher Baba. I walk with the King, praise his name. No longer I roam, my soul reaches home. I walk and I talk with the King. For years in the years of sin I was bound, could not help me. No comfort I found, but now I'm with birds and the sunbeams of spring. I agree as literary sing. I walk with the King. I walk with the King, Meher Baba. I walk with the King, praise his name. No longer I roam, my soul faces home. I walk and I talk with the King. Oh, soul near despair, in the whirlwinds of strife, look up and let Baba come into your life. The joy of his love and walk with the King. I walk with the King, Meher Baba. Walk with the King, praise his name. No longer I roam, my soul faces home. I walk and I talk with the King. I walk with the King, Meher Baba. I walk with the King, praise his name. No longer I roam, my soul faces home. I walk and I talk with the King. Jai Baba.
Thank you, Tina. Jai Baba. Jai Baba. Marinush? Jai Baba. Are you there?
I have to. Hi, Jai Baba.
There you are. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. You know, I had the pleasure to see Mehera Irani, as all of you do, and it was definitely a blessing. I felt actually I haven't seen a beautiful person ever in my lifetime. She was totally all Baba, and you know, she was so transparent that Baba would come out of her. So I knew at that time that whatever she would say, it was totally directly from Meher Baba and no one else. And you know, she was holds. You know, at that time, it was in 1983 that I met her first, and I was quite young. I was like 17, 18 years old, and I went to India in order to get my passport, to get my green card to come to America. So it was a transition for me from the Eastern world to the Western world. And, you know, back in East, I was so blessed and with Meher Baba's love in my family, and I wasn't lacking anything at all. Actually, I didn't even want to leave my country, Iran, because I had Meher Baba and Baba love, and what else to ask? But I guess the destiny kind of meant to throw me out to the Western world. And Mehera, you know, I was young, so she was especially watching after me. And then she used to hold my hand and she says, "Oh, Mernush, when you go there to America, you better watch out those American boys. Don't get trapped with their don't get trapped with their love and passion, and Baba doesn't like that. Be nice and be pure, and you promise me," and holding my hand. And I'm like, yes, you know, because I said, yes, it's easy, I promise. Yeah, I promise, no problem. So, and you know, other different thing that she also shared me and asked me that I can mention it in other time, including actually she did tell me that as a Zoroastrian, I have to wear my sadra, my white gown, my white dress, and also wear my koshti, because she wanted me to keep my religion, my faith that I was brought into the world. So, so then eventually I came to America, and then I was in college, and of course there were lots of boys, and then they were sending lots of messages and letters and this and that, and invitation to their apartment and having pizza and video. And then I came to that. And then for me, usually for us women, we think as it as a companionship, as a friendship, but we don't know if we end up going to a man's house is usually a stronger and a taller, and then eventually you go through that passion of love and love making and everything. The promise is destroyed, to God. So I would have said no and no and no, and just by saying no, I basically preserved my sanity as Meher Baba wished through Mehera. And 5 years later, when I went back, she actually told me, Mehera, before I left India to go to America, she asked me, when are you coming? And I was thinking, okay, well, as soon as I get my green card, then I can come following year. But then she told me, no, come in 5 years. So she gave me a date, 5 years. And then I end up going for Amartiti in 1989, just before beloved Mehera went to Baba. And so I had kept this promise, and I was thinking that if Mehera remembers that, because later in her age, she had a little light dementia. And I was just thinking, carrying. So we were at the table in Mehrazad, where all the ladies sit and we all have chai, with beloved Mehera. And the other woman, Mandali, usually Mani, if there is room, would join us, or Dr. Gohar. Such a beautiful time. It was heavenly time. So, and I remember, Mehera Irani was just telling all those beautiful Baba stories, and I was like a Mastani sitting there and enjoying every moment. And then I had a book of Hafiz in my hand, and I wanted to read that Hafiz for Mehera on that setting in 1989. But then her stories was so overwhelming and so beautiful. And I remember, there was kind of a chutney on the table, and I was helping myself, not chutney, but those spice thing. And I had a little, in the past, I might have had a little allergy and breakout. So I went to help myself. And then my mom said that, oh, Mernush, don't take it. It's going to give you pimple. And then I said, Mom, from this table, even if I get poison, I will eat. If I get offered poison, anything from this table, I will eat, I will take. So when the whole thing was, beautiful stories and sharing and a lot of laughter, and then when it was time to all go, then Mehera got up, and as usual, she always caresses Baba's hand, and she says the little blessing, thank you to Baba, to that beautiful Baba picture by the head of the dining table. So Mehera Irani did that. And then I was just standing next to her. And then she came and she embraced the same arm. And she whispered in my ears and says, you have pleased Meher Baba. You have pleased Baba. Thank you so much. Jai Baba.
Hey, Baba. I was there on the porch. I'd like to share something myself quickly. I was asked to sing also for Mehera, and it took me 3 songs. I did the first one, and she just kind of looked at me Like, what are you doing? So then I went back and then I practiced a second song and I came and it was always, I mean, it was so hard, you know? So I came and I did the second song and not quite. And then finally I brought the third song, and it's a song called Catch the Wind. And I sang that. And when I got done, she gave me that sign. So I managed to find the song for her that pleased her. The next thing was I went up to her one day on the porch and she had her rings on. And I guess I embraced and I said, Mehera, did Baba give you those rings? And she said, I'll tell you the story of these rings, but it's an intimate story. And if anyone comes up on the porch, when people start to come up on the porch, I'll stop and then I'll tell you later. So she started to tell me about the rings. And then sure enough, people came up on the porch and she started to greet them. And so I realized it would be later. And when I left, we all, you know, it was time to leave and go have lunch. She embraced me and she said, come back at, I can't remember, she said 3:45 or 4:15. Okay, and I'll tell you the rest of the story about the rings. So we went and we had our lunch and some tea. And I got the time confused. Instead of 3:45, I thought it was 4:15. And the next thing you know, here came Casey. And she came up to me and she said, oh, you have displeased Mehera. She said, no, she didn't say I had displeased Mehera. She said, you're late to see Mehera. And we are very careful about Mehera's resting time because you've interfered with Mehera's resting time. She said to come right now. So I went and I came up and I said, oh, Mehera, I'm so sorry. I misunderstood. She said, oh, you Westerners, you Americans, you just don't hear very well. You don't hear the time very well. And I said, no, Mehera, no, we don't. And she said, come back. And she made an arrangement for me to come back to the house another day. And she said, you're Baba's bad girl. And I said, I don't care as long as I'm Baba's, Mehera. So I went back on the appointed day and I was sitting there and you know, instead of giving me something sweet, and she had a little snack for me and they were cut up like star fruit and a little mango. She had prepared for me fruit because she knew I was diabetic. And instead of just giving me a snack of something sweet with her own hand, she had prepared this plate for me. So she gave me the plate and I ate everything, of course, on it. And then when I was done, she brought some photos and asked me if would I like a photograph of Baba? And well, of course, you know, and then which one to pick. And I looked and I picked one out and she said, I knew you'd pick that one. So the other thing that happened was I think it was Dr. Gohair. I had a thing called a sphygmanometer. I could check blood sugars because I was diabetic. And so Dr. Gohair asked me if I would check Mani and Mehera's blood sugar. And so I did. I went to the trust office and then I went to Baba's house to meet with Mehera to check her blood sugar. And I was sitting on the porch and I'll never forget when she walked out of the doorway. She was such a vision. I had never seen anything so beautiful. And I said, oh, Mehera, you are so beautiful. And she said, oh, I look like this all the time. And so she came out and invited me in, and we sat on a little two-seated seat in the living room. and I prepared to take her blood sugar. Now, they had warned me that Mehera was sensitive to pain. And so I was, needless to say, very nervous about sticking her finger. So as I started to get ready, I said, you know, Mehera, I'm going to rub your finger very hard with alcohol. Well, as I started to get things out to get ready, she started saying, Mehera Baba, Mehera Baba, Mehera Baba, Mehera Baba. So of course, so did I. Mehera Baba, Mehera Baba. So we're saying Baba's name. And then I said, now, Mehera, I'm going to rub here very hard. And it's on the side, so you won't feel it. There's no nerves there. And it won't hurt. And she said, that's what they all say. So, Meher Baba, I pricked her finger and I got the drop of blood, and she said, oh, it didn't even hurt. And so I was so grateful, and it was normal, and so everything was good. But it was just so wonderful to have that time to sit down, such intimate time with her, and, you know, draw blood to check the beloved's blood sugar. So anyway, that was my experience. All right. Oh, there we go. I see Miguel. Yes, dear.
Hi, because everyone was sharing very private things. And so I thought that I'd share something. And because my meeting with Mehera was very precious for me. But I was very shy. It was my first times there. And I think that her hugeness of soul was so huge that I was shy to approach. And that's why I was one day pushed to her and almost fell on her in order to come up to her. So I used to sit on the edge of the terrace, of the women's terrace, and listen. And she was very amazing because I was so shy. I didn't come close, and I was sitting on the side, and she knew I was very shy. So she was showing me how she knows me without talking directly to me, with just talking with other people and doing some other things, and which touched me, and I knew that she's just reading me so well. So I was shy not only of her, but especially of her because of her huge soul. And so one day, and I was feeling a bit disturbed in Merzad because I felt that everyone was sort of wanting something from me. And I didn't feel comfortable there. I felt comfortable in Mehrabad, in Baba's Samadhi, in Baba's Hill. That was the place of my heart. So I was spending time a lot with Baba and Seclusion Hill. And so one day I went into Baba's room and I was completely alone. I don't know why I was completely alone in that room. And I was bowing down to his bed and looking at his photo and talking to him and wanting to kiss him. And just as I was bending to kiss the photo on the bed, you know, where he's sitting on this chair, and I think this chair is the chair right next to the door. Then, and I was completely focused, and suddenly I see that Mehera is in the room, and she knew that I was very shy, so I don't know why she came in just as I was going to kiss Baba, or maybe was kissing him at that time, and she just came in and went out. And so I always felt that she knew me so well, and she was so gentle with me. And the other thing that we had the good fortune to be on her birthday in Merazad. It was very, very beautiful and very joyful. And also one time I was lucky to be in the tea with Mehera. Again, I was very shy. So I was sitting at the end of the table and right opposite her. And I was just looking at the magic of this. It was magical to be in tea with Mehera. It was completely magical. The girls were helping her to hand out the plates, and the plates were just floating, floating in the air and coming to each one of us. And she was telling stories, and I don't think, because I was sitting at the edge, I don't think I was hearing well what she was saying, but it was not about hearing and not about what she was saying, but just being in her presence and in this completely magical thing. And then at the end, and I will never forget that, when she stood up, like Mernush said, and she touched and kissed Baba's photo, and she said this prayer for all of us. And it just gives me the shivers now, just to think of it and just to see it, because it was not from this world. It was out of this world. It was just magic. It was just, I don't know, it was something quite else, from a different place and from a different, complete different, I don't even know how to put this in words. So I did feel very, very strongly connected with her, but always very shy, and she knew it, and she didn't break that. She honored that. And the last time that I saw her, we were there, and we were saying goodbye, because it was time for the bus, and we all said goodbye to her, and I was leaving, and I was approaching the end of the garden near where the carriage of the New Life is. And I turned back, and something made me turn back. And I was looking at Mehera, and she was saying goodbye to me personally. I know she was saying goodbye to me personally. And she was asking me in her heart, are you going to be here with us here in Meherabad, working in Meherabad, or being in Meherabad, or staying in Meherabad, or in Merazan, or are you going to be in Israel? And I felt that, no, I'm going to be in Israel. I'm going to be in Israel. And she said goodbye and waved her hand. And I think that was the last time I saw her. I was in Amartiti in 89 also, and I have some other small, beautiful meetings with Mehera, intimate times. She was an amazing, amazing, beautiful, beautiful being. And Baba is so, so blessed to have had her comfort him and put her love around him, because he went through so much suffering and so much hard work. And she just brought all this gentleness and all this beauty and wrapped him around with her love all the time. And he really needed that. He really needed that. Like we all do need love in our life. So that was beautiful to be with her, and I'm so fortunate. And beautiful to be with our beloved. And I feel that they're all alive. They're all right here with us. They're all the time seeing us. They're all the time connected to us.
Yes, yes, you're right, Mehera.
Yeah.
All right. Jai Baba, thank you for such a beautiful sharing. Yeah. Jai Baba. Wendy, did you want to speak a little bit, Wendy?
Oh, yes, thank you, Ruth. I found the passage that I couldn't find before. I'd love to share that. And then Bunny would like just a couple, maybe 5 minutes.
Sure.
Bunny, those of you who were not at the Kitty remembrance of her, the day she passed, Bunny came out because he loved Kitty so much, and she adored him. So Mehera loved Bunny so much. I have to share one story with you, but first let me read this passage. Okay. Yes, this is so interesting to me. It's not all about me, you know, although one can't help it. One wants to talk about oneself and Mehera, me anyway. Okay. All right, then wait a minute. Okay, here we go. Mehera told of how she, while walking one day, passed by a convent and went inside. It was quite empty to her surprise. She knelt to pray, and she felt Baba so much. Yes, she felt Baba so much as Jesus. She prayed to Jesus, thought of his suffering and Baba's suffering. She was so moved that she began weeping. Suddenly, an organ began to play, and she heard the song, "Precious Lord, Take My Hand." Baba loved that song. It made her so happy. Mani came to tap her shoulder. "Time to go, Mehera." As they reached the door, Mehera heard the words within. "He who prays wholeheartedly to Jesus will come to me." It was as if, and this is Mehera, I'm paraphrasing, it was as if Baba was telling her, it was as if it was Baba who was telling her how happy he was that she was praying to him as Christ, and that she would come to him. And she did, of course, come to him. The next is when we were sitting on her bed one day, just the two of us. When Mehera began crying, she reached out her arms for me to hold her. So I did, and tried to comfort her for how she is. Oh yes, I told her how she is beloved Baba's Mehera, that she is his beloved, how happy she made him, and that he knew all she had given to him. And of course, I had stolen that line, just came out spontaneously from Buzz's song. The first song he ever wrote was "Your Touch." And the chorus is, "And how when I feel you so near, can I not want you? Your life has taken my heart and I am broken." So then she asked me to sing because I had not, in fact, all of them kept asking me to sing. And those of you who know me, I don't sing except in the house, not only the shower, but the house, all over the house. Buzz is the singer in the family, of course, but I did. And then I put in parentheses, I sing "Your Touch," and I put in parentheses, very poorly, I'm afraid. But I did sing it for her to make her happy, because she had admonished me earlier for not singing one song to her. It made her cry. Quote, "That song moves me very much. It makes me cry. It is my favorite song." And you know, this was, those of you who come in later, this is quite soon. This is 74, so she is still in deep, deep, profound grief. But it gives me an opportunity to tell you, Baba, I'm sorry, my phone just fell on the ground. Excuse me, I'll pick it up. It didn't break, fortunately. I just wanted to it gives me an opportunity to say this, because people here, well, first of all, Mehera told Buzz many times, "Your voice reminds me, is very much like Baba's voice, speaking and singing." But you know, what people don't hear is the rest of the story, which is so, so important. She said to him, the first time she said that, she said, "You know, Buzz, your voice reminds me of Baba's voice. You sound like him and you're speaking too." And then she said, "But of course," she said, "you know your voice is not as beautiful as his." And Buzz said, "Oh yes, I know that." And then she added, so sweet and so like her, she said, You don't mind if I say that, do you? Can you believe that? And that's what people have been talking about, some of you, Viola, the generosity of spirit, you know, so precious. Okay, one last thing. Bunny wants to say hello and tell you quickly, well, maybe not too quickly, we have a little time, but I won't go too long in case someone else wants to talk. Yeah, wait a minute. I'll share, just wait a minute. Okay. Well, now here's Bunny, and he's feeling a little shy. Bunny, no, 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 come back, come back, come back. Okay, now look, you've already come out once for Kitty, so now you said you wanted to come out for Mehera, remember? Well, why don't you do that? I can't believe it. He's feeling so shy. Like you know how many of you were saying how shy you felt with Mehera. Well, let me just interject. I also felt very shy in the early years. I felt completely unworthy to be in her presence. Truly. I mean, I was, yeah, anyway, many of you just wanted to say that. Okay. Bunny, are you ready? Are you ready? Come on now. Show people your Baba button, okay? Oh, hello. Say hello. Say hi. All right. I know you're sleepy. I know I woke you up. Okay, now look. Hi, Ruthie. Okay, I wanted to tell you about the first time that Mehera saw Bunny. Do you want to tell? Yes, it's a very special story, isn't it? Yes, okay. So Mehera immediately called Bunny Sweetie Pie. You remember? Oh, yes, okay. And, yes, she said, oh, Bunny, do you know how to say J Baba? Oh, Bunny said, yes, yes, yes. Oh, well, then show me. How do you do that? Are you going to put your paws together? Yes. So here's what Bunny did. Oh, no, 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 Bunny. No, Bunny. You have to go down very slowly. Yeah, you remember that? Yeah, I know. A little embarrassing, but it's okay. You learned how. So the incredible thing is Mehera put her hands over Bunny's paws and went down with him like this. Do you remember? Yeah, okay. Shall we show them? Yeah. Okay. And then he came up. Oh, no, 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 Bunny. No, Bunny, you can't go up like that. You have to go up slowly. So she put her paws, her hands on his paws. So he went down again. Now her hands are on his paws, which is unbelievable. Of course, I was in heaven and I was barely there. I mean, I'm kind of an extension of Bunny, or he's an extension of me. Okay, so here's she comes up very, very slowly. Yes. Oh, she was so happy. Very good, Bunny. Oh, yes. And Bunny, of course, clap for yourself. That's all right. You can get away with it. So then she said, now you do it. You do it. So Bunny goes, you ready? He's pretty proud of himself. But Mehera was so happy. Oh, what a good boy, Bunny. You've learned the right way to do it. Good boy. Yes, you're so happy. I know. We have never forgotten that. And it's a very precious memory for Bunny, isn't it? Oh, yes, I know. Everybody thinks it's a precious memory. Yeah. All right. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. And maybe someone else would like to share before it's finished. Yeah. Shall we?
Can I ask you
Yeah.
something real quick, Wendy?
Yeah, of course.
Now, I don't, when I went back to the porch to, Mara had some snack for me. She didn't finish the ring story
Oh,
about where she got those rings. Do you know?
I do not. I only know. I thought they were from Baba,
I thought so too, but I think
but they're
one
not.
one I thought was from Upasni.
Oh, you're right. No, you're right.
Yeah,
One was. Yes, absolutely.
I think it
The
was.
one,
And
the
Bob,
one she got from Upasni, Baba took it off and then gave it to her again. So
Viola.
it's his ring
from
Okay.
Bob,
Gave it to who?
to
Mara.
her.
So Upasni gave
Oh.
her the ring and said not to remove it.
Oh.
And Baba asked for a ring.
Oh.
Did anyone have a gold ring? And so she gave that one, remember? And then Baba put it back on her hand with his hand.
Yes.
And then later on, he brought another ring of his to give her.
That's it. All right, that clears up the ring story. Miss Viola, do you have? Oh, go ahead, Wendy.
No. I was just gonna say, because you're talking rings, I can't resist sharing with you that I have a ring that. Oh, sorry. Wait a minute. That's my mother's ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you all know that Elizabeth gave this to Mother for the opening of her Broadway show in 1959? Isn't that amazing? Okay, so this is the one I wanted to share. This is the little one is the one that Baba gave Norina and wore himself. It's very. I can't really tell. I can't really.
No, we can see. There you go.
There you go. Oh,
Beautiful.
isn't it beautiful?
Yes,
Yeah.
Marina.
Thank you. Oh, and can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
I couldn't wear my sari as I told you in the beginning, but I decided the next best thing. I put Kitty's necklace on and her earrings, in case some of you may recognize. Kitty gave it to me 3 or 4 times while she was alive, but I wouldn't take it because I know how much she loved it. Her brother Herbert got this for her in China. So it was very precious to her. And then I of course got it I took it after she passed. So I just wanted to share that with you because I'm also trying to wear pink and green, sort of.
Beautiful.
Mara's favorite colors. All right, bye. I'll stop.
I've been admiring the whole time, and I've been just coveting those earrings.
Oh, and
not knowing that those were the ones that I coveted from Kitty.
That's right. They are jade and rose quartz, and the earrings are very, very light, which is surprising, but they're very light. Okay, thank you for letting me share again. And Bunny, thanks you.
Thank you, Wendy. Bob.
Ruth.
Yes, darling.
I just wanted to say, this is what the kids do on the virtual program. The Sahabas kids, they go like this. That means you've said something fantastic. They wiggle their fingers. Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute?
We always learn something new. You know, Wendy, I hate to tell you this, but I will. In the chats, there are a bunch of people saying, we want Wendy. We want Wendy to come and here, like on the porch.
Oh, wow. And also I'm hearing, turn up the volume. I'm so sorry. I've turned it up as far as I can anyway.
Well, a lot of people can hear very well. I think there's
good.
Yeah.
Just depends on the computer, maybe? I don't know.
I think so too, honey.
Okay.
All right. Well, we have about 5 minutes.
Wendy mentioned pink and green. Wendy mentioned pink and green, and this is Mara's green skirt.
Yes. Oh, how lovely.
I inherited. It's a green woolen skirt.
Oh my goodness.
And this was pink cloth that was given to me from Mara's drawer with the green skirt when she passed. So pink and green, you're right.
Yes.
Mara loved to wear pink and green.
How lovely. How lovely. Yes. How wonderful.
Beautiful. Thank you. Viola, do you want to go ahead, honey? We have about 5 minutes, so I'm going to squeeze you and Mahu in.
I'm sorry.
I wanted to sing a song.
You're fine, dear.
I'll just be a quick second. I wanted to share a story of Mara's extreme courtesy and her amazing appreciation of our efforts to please. When I first went to Merazad, I had been studying dance, and she heard and she asked me to dance. So on the porch, I just did a little something. And then she said, oh, now you come back at this time. And I came back. It was during the rest time, but all of the ladies, Mehru and Money and Goher, were sitting on the Goher's bed. And Mehera was there, and she had me dance in front of them in that little entranceway. And as I was dancing, I started to get breathless and exhausted, and I didn't know, oh, how am I going to keep going? So all of a sudden I heard Mehera's voice, and who would say this but Mehera? Both Baba would, both a compliment and also a kindness. So she said, oh, she said, I was so enjoying the dance. She used a different word, but that's what I can come up with now, that I forgot the comfort of the dancer. And I thought that she's thinking of our comfort when we give to her and Baba from our hearts. I thought I was so touched by that moment of beauty and care. And also, Wendy, you had mentioned care of things. Oh, yes, to gracefully do things gently. I once closed a refrigerator door with a bit of elan, and Mehru said to me, you know, Baba said to do things gently because you were once that too. And I think it was Nariman who had given the refrigerator maybe 75 years before, long time, 50 years. And she said, see how long it lasted? So may he help us be careful of each other as the way he would want. And just sending love and gratitude for all the care and shares. Deeply grateful. And the songs and the voices now zip. And I can't wait to hear the songs.
Thank you, dear. Well, we have just a few minutes. I'm going to ask Mahu if you could be a little brief. That would be awesome.
Yes, I am brief actually. First of all, I wanted to express my gratitude of being here and receiving so much love and compassion from Baba. It's coming through you. So my heart is touched. I'm having my tears. I'm having so much fun. And Wendy, I remember you using this rabbit, and maybe it was another animal with a Sfandior in Dilruba, and he absolutely loved it and laughing, and he just really was amused and entertained.
He roared with laughter, and it was the rabbit, the bunny rabbit.
Oh, it was the rabbit there.
Yes.
So
Oh, yes,
yeah, I was there. Yeah. So I have just little sharing about Baba's compassion and Mehera. So when I came to Baba in early 90s, perhaps I was so much with my mind, I had a hard time understanding Mehera or making connection with her to a level that I was almost jealous of her. And the love that Baba, how foolish I was. It was because of my ignorance, but I don't mind sharing it because Baba changed it. So, every time people were talking about Mehera, how loving she was, how much she loved Baba and the one who met her, it was just totally strange. I was listening. So I got very frustrated with it, but at that time I was almost going to Baba's Samadhi almost every year. So one of these years, I actually confessed to Baba in his Samadhi, talked to him and told him, Baba, what is it with me? I'm so foolish. Mehera loved you so much. I just can't connect with her. I want to be with her, receive her love and so forth. So I did have this conversation with Baba, and then once my darshan was finished, first we go to Mehera's tomb and then to Mani and others. So then I went back to my Mehera's tomb and I bowed down to her. And as soon as I did that, Baba brought Mehera wholeheartedly to my heart. Enough that I received her love. I saw her smile. I fell down at her tomb. I cried, and that was it. The ice was melted. And ever since then, she's in my heart, and I feel her. I love her, and appreciate her so much. Jai Baba.
Beautiful. So beautiful, Maha. Miss Rainey, I just wonder, is your song a short song because we have meditation coming up?
Yes, I'll do a very short one then. I'll do the one you've heard before. After Mehera died, I heard her subhuts walk from across the hall into Franey's room. I forgot one other thing about Franey. Mehera also said to always keep her with me. She must remain pure. She's Baba's. That was the fourth thoughtfulness of Mehera about Franietta Francis. Jai Baba, Jai Meramani. I hear your footfall, but they tell me that it's no longer audible. Oh, but Mehera, I heard your footfall. I hear your bell-like laughter, but they tell me that it's no longer here. Oh, but Mehera, I heard your laughter. I hear your bangles jingling, but they tell me those subtle colors are gone. Oh, but Mehera, I heard your bangles. Those memories no time span ever can erase. Your beauty, devotion, nothing can replace, nothing will erase, nothing can replace, nothing will erase. I hear your footfall, but they tell me that it's no longer audible. Oh, but Mehera, I hear your footfall. Those memories no time span ever can erase. Your beauty, devotion, nothing can replace, nothing will erase, nothing can replace, nothing will erase, nothing can replace.
Whew. Exquisite. Jai Baba. If everybody'd like to unmute, we can all say Jai Baba together.
Jai Baba.
Jai
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Avatar Meher Baba ki
Jai
jai.
Baba.
Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
Can I just say, I love how it all comes in at different times. It's like almost like a chorus, you know? And also, I can't resist saying, this has been one of the most beautiful, uplifting virtual programs I have ever been a part of. I'm so grateful, so deeply grateful to all of you.
And we're grateful too. And we're grateful to Baba and to you for being here, Wendy.
Oh, thank you, Ruthie.
And where
to Angela to making this possible for all of us.
Yeah. This photograph I put up, I just took it today while I was walking, and the sun was so bright, I couldn't even look at it. It was beautiful.
You have to move it over just a little.
Yeah, who is that?
Marcia.
Marcia.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Marcia.
Oh, you over to your left. There you go. You got it.
Beautiful, Marcia.
Lovely.
Oh, how beautiful.
Yeah, I wanted to share it. The lake was like frozen, and I thought like that's how our minds should be, like still like that lake, you know?
That's right. Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
Baba
Wendy,
gifted
can
me.
I just
Okay.
say something to Wendy? Wendy, I would like Bunny to meet Maru.
Oh,
Maru,
no. Oh, my
hello,
God.
namaste,
Oh, my God.
Bunny.
Oh, my God.
Namaste. Oh, how are you? And I would like to meet you. Mani gave Maru to Franny, and Franny took it and said mine, and apparently Maru is mine in Gujarati, so Mani called her Maru. So hi, Bunny. Jai Baba. Jai Baba, Bunny.
Well, we will hopefully we'll meet in Australia. No, you're in California.
Oh yes, that would be. Except I'm in Berkeley.
That's what I thought. I'm
Berkeley,
changing it to
California.
Berkeley.
All right, I'll come. I'll bring it to the center next
There
time.
you go. Oh yes.
I hate.
My bunny is also saying hello to your bunny.
Oh no, girls, we're gonna all get our toys out. No, no.
I missed that. Who is saying goodbye to Bunny?
This
Oh,
little
my God.
bunny.
Oh my gosh.
Bye bye, Bunny.
Oh.
There's Lucy.
There's a dog too.
That's Lucy.
Oh no, there's Baba.
She's a Baba dog. She has a heart on her forehead.
Oh my good. Oh, look at that. Bunny, can you believe it? Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Rosalie.
Oh no,
my
Rosalie
God.
joining
This is my kitty.
Oh,
Hi, Kitty. Hi, Baba.
Hi,
Baba.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
Franny says Jai Baba Baba. I've always liked Jai Baba Baba. So I think of Baba saying to himself, Jai Baba Baba.
Yes. Oh, that's perfect. Perfect. Oh my
All
goodness.
right, my sweets, it's time.
There's another one coming up.
Oh.
All right, kids, we're gonna have to mute y'all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Angie.
Hey, Baba, everybody.
So much fun. Thank you so much, everyone.
Brought up their stuff.
Oh my God.
Happy birthday, Mara. Happy birthday, Baba.
Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. Oh my God. Another one. Oh my God.
Oh, so adorable.
I don't believe we don't have one, Angela.
I think we should have a dog.
I'm just trying not to be a bad girl and allow the next program to start.
Okay, bye. Jai Baba. I'll be good enough to know.
Oh look,
Bye, everyone.
there's another dog.
Woman we went to the lake with. No, she's the one I think doing the meditation.
Yes, we're gonna close now for the meditation. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, Baba.
Thank you, Angela.
Amazing. You guys are amazing. Bye.
So
Bye, Baba.